Hello, I'm Emily Prescott. I am a clinician with Melospeech, and I'm going to go over how to use SLPeaceBot. How do I start? This is awkward. We're talking into our phone while we're with our families and caregivers. Yes, so I always explain what SLPeace is to our caregivers and how it works. It's HIPAA compliant. I ensure that they know that nothing is staying on my phone. It's encrypted information, and that all the notes are de-identified to protect their privacy. So even if I say Charlie did this, it will say client. And I use a phrase to begin our note. So then as our parent, we come back again, our parents and caregivers know, okay, this is now what we're doing. So my little phrase I say is like, okay, let's do our wrap up, mom. Let's do our wrap up, auntie, whoever is there with us. And then as I'm doing my note and talking to our caregiver, the child can explore the environment, keep playing as we chit chat. So then what do I do next? I'm thinking of soap notes. So I go in my head of what we are trying to accomplish. So we start with our subjective notes. And of course you want to click our little microphone button here and see that it's recording. I include the caregiver's report of progress from the previous week, new milestones that may have occurred, and or difficulties that they're having. They're getting really frustrated this week because they're starting to really try and communicate with us, things like that. Or, oh, this past week you mentioned that they approximated the word cup to ask for a drink of water, things like that. During this time, I always pump up and give kudos to our caregivers for techniques that they are using. And the carryover activities. So I will say something like, this week, Mom, you mentioned using modeling as you were cooking today and playing with them. You narrated their play and used our core words of more and on. And that was really great carryover. And you can really see that at work today, as she said more 3 times, kind of as an example for you. And now, when do we talk about the data? This is the next section that I think of as I'm talking to our caregivers. I go over and describe the activities and be specific about the targeted goals, if it is an articulation sound or sound structures, consonant vowel, consonant words, things like that. Give our percentage and our trial numbers. Oh, they imitated 4 out of my 5 times that I said on when we were playing with the blocks. Use direct quotes when possible. Charlie said, Mama, go twice on their own, which is great. The AI tool will then take that, turn it into specific data, and use that independently and be able to put that into our data section of our note. Now, if there are hard times, this is where we can sometimes feel that it is a little uncomfortable maybe to describe difficult times, but we can do it with gently and with care. So there's always a way to be positive about it. So what I'll do is sometimes, we had a hard time the first half of the session. They were really unsure about me coming into their home, playing with their toys, but halfway through, we were able to really turn it around and we played together. So we always want to end on a positive, even when we're describing difficult behaviors gently. What is happening next? This is when I go into our next steps. What can they do at home? So I'll say something such as, today I really was modeling more as they were playing and asking me to repeat rolling the ball back to them. So definitely think of that this week as you play with them. So you can give those things for them to continue doing as you're describing the techniques that you did during that time. And then I go over the plan for the next session. I really want to add in more core words. I really want to add in all done, and in our signs and verbally, we want to add in more play with the blocks since that worked really well today. Things like that as well. It will take into account and add into our plan. Now, towards the end, we're wrapping up our little review with the caregivers. I will say, did I forget something? Did I forget anything? The good news is that at any time you can add in any details. Oh yeah, I forgot this last week you mentioned that you went on vacation and so they may be a little tired today. The AI will take that and put it where it needs to go in our subnote, which is an amazing tool. Also, at this time, sometimes caregivers will remember things that we may forget or see things that we didn't see. Oh, yeah, they did after you said more. I remember hearing that. Oh, yeah. So then we can add that into our note. Also, ask for feedback. This is extremely important as we are working with the whole family. What I like to say is this phrase at the bottom: what went well today and what didn't work so well? It gives the caregiver an opportunity to give us direct, immediate feedback. And that is really helpful as we move on. Sometimes I may think a toy is great or they don't. Bubbles didn't really work so well because they keep eating the bubbles. Totally understand. I'll take that out of my bag next time. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions? And we can kind of wrap it up at the end. It is extremely important that we want to review our AI for content. It's not a human. They make mistakes. So after we finish our recording up here, we can push our blue button. We are done. And so we click our button over here to generate the note. And we really want to make sure that we review what it says in there. Sometimes it may take things from a 3-word phrase into 3 individual words. And we're like, no, that's not what I wanted to say. So we can always edit the note. And while this is happening, I still chit chat with the families and clean up whatever we need to do. After it generates the note, we can hit that little send button and hand it over to our caregiver to do the digital signature. I explained to them that this is where they are confirming that we were here for this session, and it just crosses our T's and dots our I's and makes sure that everyone's on board of what happened today. And so then they do that, and I ask them to hand it back to me after their signature. Now, when it comes back to me, it says this customized email subject. Now, right here is extremely important part where we can add in for our office team our name, the client's name, and the session time. So then it is inputted into their file. And then we click send note and we send it off. That's it. Overall, we really can use this tool during our sessions to review with their caregivers the targets that we did, the progress. We can decrease our paperwork time and teach carryover, which is essential as we are working with kids, that there is carryover. We're only there for a short time. It's important that our families and caregivers know what else they can do to support their language development throughout the week. The signature confirms the completed appointment, and we're able to use it for in-person and virtual clients to send an email verification. I'm going to go back and show right here where it says send visit signature link. That is where we're able to send it to our families if we're doing virtual sessions by their email. And I will let them know, please check your email and just sign it for me. It just verifies that we had our session today. So this send visit signature link is for our virtual clients. And that is it. Thank you so much for your time.